Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Friday morning and I'm going to start this video with some really sad news. No, not that the Queen is dead. I think you all know that, judging by my comments on yesterday's video. Sadder news than that. Without starting a flame war in the comments, please don't. Doesn't matter to me which vastly wealthy person sits on the throne, because they have no constitutional role in the running of the country. With that said, the sad news is Jack and Bella, my two golden oldies, Jack my poodle and Bella my Yorkie, took their trip over Rainbow Bridge yesterday. They were both very tired. They both weren't feeling well. They've been elderly for a long time. They were both 15 years old. They're just feeling their age, you know. So they've grown up together, and I made the decision to send them off together. So they're free now, and they can join Poppy, who some of you met on my other channel, who died last year. Poppy's been waiting for them. And when their ashes come back, they're going to be scattered on these fields. So, to the purpose of this video, this is a true crime channel. I will do a little montage in celebration of Jack and Bella's life in the next couple of days. And I'll probably post that on Miss Tillington's channel. Doug from Adventures with Purpose was on Zav Girl's channel yesterday evening my time, and I thought that was very interesting. There was a lot of great questions from Zav and her panel, and they took some from the audience. So Zav Girl is kicking it out of the park. Massive shout out to Zav Girl for her coverage of the Kiely Rodni case. Credit for the couple of little clips I'm going to play goes to her. The link to that is in the description box. Doug was on for the first hour or so. Some of the things that Doug said were very, very interesting indeed. I don't think it's things that we haven't heard before, but it's the way that they were said that I think is important. Us in the true crime community, we dissect everything, don't we? And I think sometimes things get dissected a little bit too much. You know, we start to read into things. We start to read into specific words or specific actions, perhaps a little bit more than we should have done. I'm so convinced by Adventures with Purpose's belief in road assistance guy Nick. Honestly, I don't think they would have risked their reputation putting him on their channel if they did not think he was credible. Now, I've said this in previous videos that, you know, they're not investigators, they're not detectives. This is the first kind of recent, you know, live active case that they've done. They normally do cold cases or just retrieving vehicles and things like that. So maybe they've been swept up in the whole kind of spectacle of it all, and you know, now they're kind of reading things into their experience that we're all talking about in the true crime community. I mean, clearly they're watching. Doug said he's very impressed by just the way that the true crime community have really dug into things, and I think they are being swept up by it. I mean, Doug's been on panels now. Jared's been on panels. Nick, Nick the diver, is starting to go on panels. What do I think about that? I think that's a good thing. I do think that's a good thing, that they're answering as many questions as they can without kind of ruining the integrity of the investigation. It's good that they're out there dispelling some of the myths. They're protecting their own reputation. I think at least in part by doing that, so that's a good thing. I think they've probably made a conscious decision for them to go on as many panels as possible and tell the story and make sure it's their truth that's out there. And, you know, in the absence of law enforcement, that the theories and the speculations don't get too wild. We've been told that we're not to expect anything from law enforcement till at least November the 1st. So it's a long time to wait. And as I said in my video yesterday, it's a long time, 2 months, for speculations to run wild and for it to get really ridiculous. So I think Adventures with Purpose, for as long as they're willing to go on panels, I think it is a good thing that they're answering as many questions as they can. I don't know how long they're going to continue to do it. I don't know how much more they can say, honestly. You know, they can't answer questions on things like, you know, was Kiely clothed or unclothed? They say they don't know whether her phone was in there. Her phone is one of the outstanding things that have not been recovered. Just a debacle of law enforcement. You know, the credibility of law enforcement in that area now, surely, is at rock bottom. And yet, law enforcement are listening as well. Placer County Sheriff's Office and Nevada County Sheriff's Office are answering queries. I've seen a few responses being posted on social media. There was one person who asked Nevada County Sheriffs a question and then was told that it was Placer County Sheriffs and was kind of passed from pillar to post. Placer County came out and said they're not part of the investigation anymore. And there's nothing dodgy in that. It's simply that Kiely was found in Nevada County. She's no longer a missing person. The missing persons report was filed in Placer County. That's why they were doing this kind of joint investigation when she was missing. But she's no longer missing, so Placer County, we can disregard those. Nevada County is saying that they're continuing to work with California Highway Patrol, the FBI. What more can we say, really? On law enforcement, I mean, even Duty Ron, as an ex-NYPD officer, Duty Ron is very pro-law enforcement. I'm pro-law enforcement. I will support law enforcement where I can, whenever I can. But where there is criticism to be had, where law enforcement fail, then no one can back that. And Duty Ron, he was like, shame on them. When he was talking about Check It TV, you know, waiting 4 hours for someone to come out. You know, and eventually he went down and dove and got the laptop himself. And whether that was the wrong thing to do or not, it just shows just how lax law enforcement's investigation of this is. Just really lax. It's not the laptop or any one thing that was found by Check It TV. It's the fact that things were allowed to escape from that vehicle, from Kiely's car. How do they know what was in Kiely's car that has been lost, or the scene damaged? If that's a crime scene, a defence attorney will have a field day with this investigation. They have cocked this investigation up. They really have. If this investigation does eventually result in prosecutions, law enforcement have done Kiely a huge disservice, in my opinion, obviously. Adventures with Purpose have said if they had done the recovery, they were asked to step aside by the FBI, they'd done the recovery, they'd have sealed those windows, and they'd have pulled out the car on its roof so that there was minimum disturbance to the actual scene inside. Now, of course, there's going to be movement of things. But the fact that they left the windows open, the fact that things clearly escaped and they didn't go and search. They didn't go and search the bottom for anything that might have fallen out during the turn. Is unforgivable. It's the process of this that's terrible, not the actual items that have been found per se. Terrible, really bad. The things I said yesterday when I was like, when I saw what Check It TV was posting, I was like, oh my God, this is awful. So I'm really glad that people like Duty Ron, Eventually Purpose are saying the same. That this is bad. Anyway, back to road assistance guy.
Was Nick the tow truck guy or the roadside assistant guy? Did he verify the vehicle, or was it more Kiely that he recognized? Can you answer that?
Everything about his story was verified, as far as with us, it was verified. We didn't. He became a part of his story because of his credibility. Anyone who dismisses him as not being credible is wrong, 100%.
Doug has reiterated the story from road assistance guy that they thought he was very credible. They've only released 10% of what he said, and when asked the question, is it verified, was it Kiely or Kylie's car that was the thing that he noticed, he said everything.
We don't enhance anything, we don't fake anything, and we're not out to create drama. This is just how it unfolded organically for us. And that's just the way it happens on all our cases. We come into cases a lot of times and they haven't been worked on in 20 years, and we come to town in one day and uncover evidence or clues, X factors that have never been uncovered. It's really weird how all that unfolds there. But back to how, who he identified and all of that, he did. He knew what he was talking about in those identifications. We were confident in what he was saying, put it like that.
To them, he verified everything. Now, of course, there's margin for error because there's more than one girl with long blonde hair in California. And the young man that we're all thinking of may well not be him.
And it appeared to be your understanding that it was Kiely?
Yes.
Oh,
Now, if there's room for error, there's definitely could be, because she's, I'm not trying to draw any unnecessary heat on anybody else, but she's not the only blonde girl in California. So could it very well have been somebody else? Yeah. And then you have him describing very, very mysterious behavior. That's weird. That's really weird. And you guys, as the public, I'm speaking, have put it out there better than we have. Like, why were they standing on each side of the vehicle? How come they couldn't stand together? And there's explaining this weirdness. Was it her? Could it have been somebody else? And were they trying to stop somebody from going to the back of the vehicle?
Ventures with Purpose are backing road assistance guy. Now, obviously, they do not have anything other than their belief in road assistance guy's credibility. Or maybe they do, and they're not saying. Maybe they do and they can't say. But law enforcement, I think it's time for law enforcement to come out and say, just a simple statement to say, we've looked into this and this wasn't Kylie's car. If it wasn't Kylie's car. Now, if it was Kylie's car, then would they be able to say that? Would that be something that would interfere too much with their investigation. Because wouldn't it prove foul play? It would prove that she was alive a good 11 hours after that last phone ping. So maybe, you know, the balance of things, they just think it's safer to stay quiet. But I've no faith in them anymore. I've no faith in them. So, is that the right thing for them to do? I mean, if it definitely isn't Kiely's car, then, I don't know, a quick statement saying, look, we have looked into this claim and it is not Kiely's car. And part of me wonders whether Adventures with Purpose are just, you know, nudging law enforcement in a direction to say something. I don't know, maybe not. They think he's very credible. But are they swept up in the whole case? And are they looking at things through the lens now of the things that YouTubers are saying? You know, the fact that Doug said that it was, you know, what other reason would there be for the young man and the young woman to be kind of moving around the car if it wasn't to hide what was in the back? And then he immediately tempered that by saying that's, you know, one way to look at it. And November the 1st at the very earliest to hear anything at all is a long time. It's a long time on these YouTube streets, it really is. So we'll see. We'll see what comes next. It seems that every day something else comes out that really doesn't make law enforcement look good in this instance. It really doesn't. I think views about this case are becoming a little bit more polarised. You've got the foul play camp and then you've got the accident camp, and I don't think either of those camps are going to change at this point now. But then you've got a lot of people like me who are who change. Who've changed several times based on the evidence out there. I don't know, let me know what you think. I've been Michelle, I hope you're well. See you in the next video. Goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. Bye guys.